Okay, Tom, can you tell me a bit about yourself and what it's like to live on the streets of Toronto?
My name's Thomas McConnell. Last name's McConnell. First name Thomas. I've been homeless for 15 years now, since I got out of the federal penitentiary. And main reason I was homeless in the beginning was because of my addiction issues. Now it's a little bit that my alcoholism's a little out of control, but it's mostly the Canadian government. I can't work, so I have to come here to panhandle at the Eglinton subway station at Yonge and Eglinton, and it bothers me and pisses me off. But I don't have a choice, because if I don't eat. And I'm now drinking. I was drinking so much that I have seizures without alcohol, so I have to have the alcohol too. So the situation that I believe Canadian government's put me in, because they give me $310 a month. That's special needs, and my rent they only pay $400. Even $710, you can't even get close to a bachelor for that. So that's the situation I'm in, and I feel that's why. COVID made it worse, but COVID takes the blame for everything when the Canadian government should really take the blame for it. People are out here because because the government doesn't want to help anybody. I had an elderly wife who's 20 years older than me, who's elderly now. She's in a shelter, and they won't even give her a damn shelter. So I mean, and they won't even help her with an apartment. So she's going to leave and go back to the U.S. where she's originally from, after she's been in Canada for over 50 years, and she's got to go back to the States just to get help. That's pretty disgusting. And there's a ton of situations like that in the city. There's a ton of people who are like that, and it pisses me off. But I can't control other people's decisions, and I come here to panhandle because I don't have a choice. I need to be able to eat, and like I said, it's possible to have seizures with alcohol. So if I can't make money here, I have to steal my alcohol. That's my own decision.
Do you think the mayor and city council understand what it's like to be on the streets?
They don't have a damn clue, because they haven't done it. I'll even invite the mayor to come spend a night in my camp with me if he wants to come and see what the streets are like. I don't think he's got the parts, but I don't think anybody, unless you've been there, has a damn clue. And I'm biting my tongue, because I'd like to say a lot worse than that. But until you go through this, you really aren't going to know. There's not much I haven't been through. Back in the day, I got a really bad criminal record, spent a lot of time in the federal penitentiary for bank robberies. Long time ago. I'm not a bad guy, I did some bad things, but I don't deserve this shit. And it'd be nice if the government would help me and a lot of other people. I don't see that happening anytime soon. Maybe this interview will help a bit. I'm hoping.
For people who don't understand what it's like to stay in Toronto's shelter system, what is that like?
Staff abuse you, clients abuse you. It's been a lot of years since this shit's happened, but I've been spit on by staff at a shelter before. Pretty disgusting, right? As well as the clients are the worst, because I have addiction issues. I was selling drugs at that point, not anymore, but I was selling drugs to support my habit, and people knew that and got jealous, and they robbed me. So, can't win, right? That's my own decision to do that, to be a dealer, and I decided not to do that anymore because I don't want to deal with the bullshit that comes along with it. But I still got to live somehow, so I got to come out and panhandle. I collect beer cans. I do whatever the hell I have to do to get through, and it's not easy. Most nights I don't sleep because I'm outside and I trust nobody. I get robbed all the time. I've had 23 phones stolen in 2 years. Pretty disgusting. Everything I buy gets freaking stolen, so I can't own anything.
What is it like to be in the cold in Toronto in the winter?
Nasty. It's not even that cold yet. And I'm already sick of being outside this winter. I'd like to get in. I'd like to get into a shelter hotel, but I'm not going to go to any damn shelter unless it's a hotel or I got my own room. And I got thrown out of one because I was a suspected drug dealer. And I'm not going to lie about it. I was selling drugs back then, but I wasn't doing it at the hotel because I don't shit where I eat, which means I'm not going to bring heat to where I'm living. They just use that as an excuse to get me the hell out of the hotel. And that was a year ago now, and I've been sleeping outside since. And again, I'll say it, I won't go back to a damn shelter unless it's my own room by myself in a hotel. And there's not much more I can say than that. What else? You know, I pretty much give you the bare bones of everything, right? Tell them. The bottom line is, the shelter system sucks because people get assaulted all the time, mostly by clients, but sometimes by staff as well. And they'll tell you if you don't like it, the front door's right there. Don't let it hit your ass on the way out. So I always tell people if they ask me if it's okay, if it would be okay to go to a shelter, if they went to a shelter, it'd be okay. I tell them probably not, especially if they're elderly or disabled. I tell them no fucking way. Excuse my language. I tell them no way because you're gonna edit it anyways. I hope. I tell them don't fucking bother because you're just gonna get abused by clients and staff possibly. That's why I don't go to shelters, and that's why I will not go. Every month they give me a date for a damn housing, and it's bullshit because they changed. I was supposed to be moving in December 1st. Now they're telling me, oh, we thought you knew it was next December. Bullshit. They knew exactly what they were doing. They were just trying to irritate me. But yeah, there's not much more I can say about that, James, except something needs to be done about the shelter system immediately instead of fucking waiting until people keep dying. Like the shelter that I was in with the Delta that I got thrown out of. Now, I did say that, right? With the Delta I got thrown out of. When I first got there last year, at this time of year, 29 fucking people died in less than a 6-week period from fentanyl. They started calling it from fentanyl over the place. The staff are supposed to be checking the rooms every half an hour, but they don't. So that's another thing, right? So they started calling these hotels the death hotels. And I'll tell you straight, even though I'm an addict and alcoholic myself, meth addict, I use it very seldom now, but I drink every friggin' day. And if I don't have alcohol, I'll say it again, I can have a seizure and die. And I don't want to die, so if I gotta steal my alcohol, that's what I gotta do to get my alcohol. I don't know what else to say. I'm just disgusted with the shelter system. If you have any questions.
One more question. What do you want to say to the politicians who say we can't raise taxes on rich people in Toronto to pay to provide shelter to everyone living on the streets?
I think they should go and ask those people instead of making up their mind for them. Because I'll tell you, I've talked to a lot of people in this area where we're sitting right now, Young and Eglinton, that actually have a ton of fucking money, and they said that they'd be okay with that because they're helping people less sad, who are less fortunate than that. So I think the politicians, what I think is they're full of shit. They can do what they want, they just choose not to. Just look at the States, they just elected Trump again. How smart was that? Not very. But it's true, right? So, yeah, I don't really have much more to say. That's bare bones. I would just suggest, if you have a disability, or if a person has a disability that's trying to get into a friggin' shelter, or is elderly, I would suggest not to go to a shelter unless it's a hotel shelter where you have your own space. And that's about all I.
Yeah, sorry, just one more question.
Go ahead.
Then. What is? Can you talk about the importance of having your own space?
Well, when you're sharing a room with somebody, you got some asshole that'll snoring. You got to worry about their stealing your shit while you're sleeping, coming into the room and waking you up because they don't give a fuck about nobody but themselves, and not even that most times because they're drug addicts, so they don't care about themselves. Your own space is the utmost importance. That's the only way I would go to a shelter anymore, and even then, I probably wouldn't because I hate these fucking places, and I'm disgusted. But I don't want to die in the streets in minus 30, 40 weather, so I'm going to have to do something.
Thanks for your time.
You're more than welcome. I wish I could say more because I hate these fucking people. But you can't, there's not much more I can say. I told you the bare bones of everything. If someone has to go to a shelter, remember that before you go. Thank you for letting me speak.